all chase success. We dream of it. We work for it. It promises happiness, security, and fulfillment. Society tells us it is the ultimate prize, the peak of human achievement. But what if the summit holds a hidden danger? What if the brightest light casts the darkest shadow? There is an untold story about success, a side that is rarely discussed. It's a story of subtle traps and quiet suffering, and understanding it is the key to true, lasting peace. Lesson 1. Attachment to success fuels future suffering. Imagine the moment you achieve a long-sought goal. The promotion is confirmed. The business takes off. The award is in your hands. A wave of euphoria washes over you. It feels incredible, like you've finally arrived. This feeling is pure and beautiful. The trouble does not begin with the feeling itself, but what we do next. We grasp it. We cling to it with all our might. We think, this is it. This is who I am now. I am a successful person. We build our identity around this fleeting moment of triumph. This act of clinging, this deep attachment, is the seed of future pain. Why? Because you are now guarding a treasure that is, by its very nature, not permanent. Every small setback feels like a personal attack. A dip in profits, a less than perfect project, or someone else's rise becomes a source of deep anxiety. You start living in fear of losing the very thing that brought you joy. The mind becomes a vigilant soldier, constantly on patrol, protecting your status. This isn't freedom. It's a prison of your own making. The wisdom in this is to learn to hold your successes lightly. Welcome them like honored guests. Enjoy their company. Be grateful for their visit, but do not mistake them for a permanent part of your home. You are the home. The success is just a visitor passing through. To practice this, when you achieve something, consciously observe the feeling of joy. Acknowledge it. Say to yourself, this is a pleasant feeling, but don't fuse with it. Remind yourself that feelings, like clouds, come and go. The real work is to shift your focus from the outcome to the process. Celebrate the effort, the learning, the growth. These are things no one can ever take from you. True, unshakable peace comes not from holding on tighter, but from developing the strength to gracefully let go. Lesson 2. Success often inflates the illusion of self. When success arrives, it rarely comes alone. It brings with it titles, praise, and recognition. You become the founder, the director, the award winner. Slowly, subtly, a new identity begins to form. It's a story you tell yourself, and that others reflect back to you. I am important. I am capable. I am someone who matters. This story is the ego, the sense of a solid, separate self. And with success, this self can become greatly inflated. It's like putting on a beautiful, elaborate mask. At first, you know it's a mask, but over time, you can forget. You start to believe you are the mask. This inflated self is incredibly fragile. It requires constant validation to survive. It craves praise and fears criticism. Any challenge to your ideas feels like a personal threat. It creates a barrier between you and others. You may start to see people not as fellow human beings, but as an audience, as competitors, or as instruments for your own advancement. This is a lonely existence. The ancient teachings guide us to look behind the mask. They encourage us to see that this self we protect so fiercely is not a solid thing. It is a collection of changing thoughts, feelings, and labels. Your true nature is the quiet, spacious awareness that witnesses all of this. It is the sky, not the passing clouds of success or failure. A powerful practice is to deliberately place yourself in situations where your title means nothing. Learn a new instrument and be a terrible beginner. Volunteer your time to help others without needing recognition. Have a heartfelt conversation with someone who doesn't know what you do for a living. These acts of humility gently dissolve the inflated self. Ask yourself, who am I without my achievements? Who am I without the praise? The answer isn't a word, but a feeling of quiet, simple presence. True confidence is not born from a big ego, but from a quiet mind that knows its own worth is inherent, not earned. Lesson 3. The fear of losing success creates immense anxiety. The journey to the top of the mountain can be exhilarating, but once you are there, a new feeling often emerges. It's a quiet, creeping unease. You look down from the peak, and all you can think about is the fall. This is the fear of losing what you've gained. It is one of the most corrosive dark sides of success. You've worked so hard to build your career, your reputation, your wealth. Now you must defend it. The mind shifts from creation to preservation. It becomes hypervigilant, scanning the horizon for threats. A new competitor, a shift in the market, a critical comment, everything is perceived as a potential danger to your position. This creates a state of chronic, low-grade anxiety. You are no longer living in the present moment, enjoying the fruits of your labor. Instead, you are living in a future filled with imagined catastrophes. Sleep might become difficult. Spontaneous joy feels risky. You are shackled to your own success. The freedom you thought it would bring has turned into a gilded cage. The path to liberation from this anxiety lies in a profound shift of perspective. It requires gently and consistently reminding yourself of a fundamental truth of existence. Everything is impermanent. Everything changes. Your success, your health, your relationships, your very life, they are all in a state of constant flow. Resisting this flow is like trying to hold back the ocean tide. It is exhausting and ultimately futile. The practice here is not to become passive or stop striving, but to change your inner relationship with outcomes. Do your best work. Pour your heart into your endeavors, but release your white-knuckled grip on the results. Practice mindful acceptance. When the fear of loss arises, don't fight it. Acknowledge it. Say, there is fear here. Watch it like a cloud in your mental sky. By not feeding it with more worry, it will eventually lose its power and drift away. Find your security not in your external circumstances, which will always change, but in your inner resilience and your ability to adapt to change with grace and wisdom. Lesson 4. Perpetual craving for more poisons contentment. You achieve a goal you've been dreaming of for years. For a day, a week, maybe even a month, you feel complete. You feel a sense of profound satisfaction. But then, a new thought creeps in. What's next? The mind, having tasted victory, immediately starts craving another, bigger one. The sales target you hit now seems small. The next, higher target becomes the new source of happiness. The house you bought is wonderful until you see a larger one. This is the endless cycle of craving. It is a fundamental source of human dissatisfaction, and success can amplify it to an extreme degree. It's like drinking salt water to quench your thirst. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. You become trapped on a treadmill of desire, running faster and faster, but never actually arriving anywhere. Contentment becomes a foreign concept, a distant shore you can see but never reach. The present moment is perpetually sacrificed for a future that promises a fulfillment it can never deliver. This poison of more robs you of the ability to enjoy what you already have. The spiritual path offers a powerful antidote, the practice of gratitude and presence. It's not about denying your ambitions, but about balancing them with a deep appreciation for the now. The practice can be incredibly simple. Take a few moments each day to consciously notice the good things in your life that have nothing to do with your next achievement. The taste of your morning coffee, the warmth of the sun on your skin, a kind word from a friend, a moment of quiet. By intentionally directing your attention to these simple, present pleasures, you are training your mind to find joy outside the cycle of craving. You are teaching it that happiness is not a destination to be reached, but a quality of awareness to be cultivated right here, right now. When the thought, "I need more to be happy" arises, gently challenge it. Ask yourself, what do I have right now that I can be grateful for? This simple question can break the spell of perpetual craving and open the door to a state of profound and lasting contentment, independent of your next success. Lesson 5. External triumph can mask internal emptiness. Society often equates success with happiness. We see people with wealth, fame, and power, and we assume they must be fulfilled. We build our lives around this assumption, believing that if we can just achieve that external triumph, we will finally fix whatever feels empty or broken inside. So we climb. We work tirelessly, sacrificing sleep, relationships, and peace of mind, all for that external prize. And then, for many, a deeply unsettling moment arrives. You reach the summit. You have the title, the money, the recognition. You have everything you ever thought you wanted. And yet, in a quiet moment when the applause fades and the distractions cease, you feel a profound sense of emptiness. A hollow feeling echoes within. You ask yourself, is this it? Is this all there is? This is one of the most painful secrets of success. External achievements cannot fill an internal void. They can distract from it. They can mask it for a while, but they can never heal it. The emptiness comes from a disconnection from your true self, from a lack of meaning and purpose that is independent of what you do for a living. It comes from looking for fulfillment in all the wrong places. The journey to fill this void is an inward one. It's not about achieving more, but about connecting more deeply with yourself. This is where practices like mindfulness and self-inquiry become invaluable. Spending just a few minutes each day in silence, simply observing your own thoughts and feelings without judgment, can be transformative. It's about getting to know your own inner world. Ask yourself deeper questions. What truly brings me joy, separate from praise or money? What are my core values? How can I be of service to others in a meaningful way? The answer isn't about abandoning your successful career, but about infusing it with a deeper sense of purpose. It's about shifting your motivation from seeking validation to expressing your authentic self. The external world can give you comfort and pleasure, but only the internal world can give you meaning and lasting fulfillment. Lesson 6. Success can isolate you from genuine connection. Before the big success, your relationships were likely simple and straightforward. You shared struggles with your peers. You could be vulnerable with friends without a second thought. You were just one of them. But when you achieve a significant level of success, a subtle but powerful shift occurs. People start to treat you differently. Some may become sycophantic, agreeing with everything you say, hoping to gain favor. Others may become envious or resentful, seeing you as a rival. Old friends might feel awkward, unsure how to relate to your new life. The easy, authentic connections you once took for granted can begin to fray. You find yourself in a strange new landscape. It becomes harder to know who your real friends are. Is this person being kind to me or to my position? Can I share my fears and insecurities without it being perceived as weakness? This uncertainty can lead you to build walls around yourself for protection. You become more guarded, more cautious. And in doing so, you become more isolated. You might be surrounded by people at meetings and parties, but feel profoundly alone. This isolation is a deep, aching sorrow that no amount of wealth or fame can soothe. Human beings are wired for genuine connection. We need it to thrive. The wisdom here is to actively and intentionally cultivate authenticity in your relationships. It requires courage. It means being the first to be vulnerable. Share a struggle, not just a victory. Admit when you don't know something. Ask for help. Make a conscious effort to connect with people on a human level, beyond titles and achievements. Schedule time for old friends where you talk about life, not work. Show genuine interest in others' lives, their hopes, and their struggles. Remind them and yourself that beneath the label of success You are still just a person navigating the complexities of life. This conscious effort to be real in a world that encourages you to be an image is the only way to break through the isolation and experience the deep joy of true, heartfelt connection. Lesson 7. Ethical compromise often shadows the climb to success. The path to the top is rarely a straight, clean line. It is often filled with complex choices and immense pressure. In the relentless pursuit of a goal, it can be tempting to cut corners. It starts with small things. A white lie to a client to close a deal. Taking credit for a team member's idea to get ahead. Withholding information to gain an advantage. Each small compromise seems justifiable at the moment. Everyone does it, you might tell yourself. It's just the cost of doing business. The end justifies the means. But each of these small steps away from your own integrity carves a little piece out of your soul. You may win the external prize, but you lose something far more valuable, your own self-respect and peace of mind. This creates a hidden inner conflict. On the outside, you project an image of success and confidence. But on the inside, there is a quiet, nagging voice of guilt or shame. You may have to work harder and harder to maintain the successful facade, to distract yourself from this inner unease. This internal division is a heavy burden to carry and can lead to burnout, anxiety, and a feeling of being a fraud. The guiding principle to avoid this trap is to cultivate a clear and unwavering inner compass of integrity. This isn't about being perfect, but about being honest with yourself. Before making a difficult decision, pause and ask a simple question. Will this action bring me peace of mind? Not, will this action bring me more money or power? But will it allow me to sleep peacefully at night? This shifts the focus from short-term gain to long-term well-being. The practice involves cultivating mindfulness of your intentions. Be aware of the why behind your actions. Are you acting from a place of greed and fear, or from a place of honesty and respect for yourself and others? Choosing integrity, especially when it's difficult, builds a powerful foundation of inner strength. It creates a life where your outer success is in harmony with your inner values. This alignment is the source of a deep, unshakable confidence that no external achievement can ever provide. Lesson 8. The impermanence of success breeds ultimate disillusionment. We are taught to build our lives on the foundation of success as if it were solid rock. We believe that once we achieve it, we will have a permanent source of security and happiness. We invest our entire identity into it. But this is a grand illusion. The fundamental nature of reality is change. Nothing is permanent. Markets crash, companies fail, public opinion shifts, health declines, and new, younger talent always emerges. The success that seems so solid and real today is in truth as fleeting as a morning mist. To build your entire sense of self on something so unstable is to set yourself up for inevitable and profound suffering. When that success eventually fades, as all things do, you can feel like your entire world is collapsing. The disillusionment is immense. You feel lost because the identity you spent years constructing has vanished. You are left with a feeling of bitterness or despair, wondering what it was all for. This is not a pessimistic view. It is a realistic one. And within this realism lies the key to true freedom. The spiritual teachings do not ask us to deny success or avoid it. They ask us to understand its true nature. The practice is to hold a constant, gentle awareness of impermanence in your daily life. Look at the awards on your shelf and think, this too shall pass. Look at your company's high profits and think, this too shall pass. This is not to diminish the joy of the achievement, but to prevent you from clinging to it as a source of permanent identity. It's like learning to surf. A wise surfer doesn't try to stop the waves. They learn to ride them. They enjoy the thrill of being on top of the wave, but they know it will crest and recede, and they are prepared to ride the next one. By internalizing the truth of impermanence, you shift your source of security from the external and unstable to the internal and stable. Your own awareness, your own resilience, your own capacity for peace. When you no longer fear the loss of success, you are truly free to enjoy it while it lasts, without the anxiety of its inevitable departure. Lesson 9. Higher status brings greater burdens and expectations. From the outside, reaching a position of high status looks like pure freedom. You imagine having the power to make your own decisions, to control your own time, to be the master of your destiny. But the reality is often the complete opposite. With every step up the ladder of success, the weight on your shoulders grows heavier. Your responsibilities multiply. You are now responsible not just for your own work, but for the livelihoods of your employees, the satisfaction of your clients, and the expectations of your shareholders. Your time is no longer your own. Your calendar fills up with meetings, obligations, and demands from all sides. Everyone wants a piece of you. Furthermore, the expectations placed upon you become immense. You are expected to have all the answers, to be strong at all times, to never show weakness or uncertainty. You become a symbol, a role that you must constantly perform. This pressure to maintain a flawless image is exhausting. It leaves little room for being human, for being vulnerable, for making mistakes and learning from them. The freedom you sought becomes a prison of endless obligations and crushing expectations. The joy of the work can get lost beneath the weight of managing it all. The path to navigating this pressure is rooted in self-compassion and the setting of healthy boundaries. You must recognize that you are a human being, not a superhero. You have limits. It is not selfish to protect your time and energy. It is essential for your well-being and long-term effectiveness. The practice is to learn to say no, gracefully but firmly. Prioritize what is truly important and let go of the rest. Delegate responsibilities and trust others to carry them out. Most importantly, practice self-compassion. Allow yourself to be imperfect. Acknowledge your own stress and give yourself permission to rest and recharge. A leader who is burned out and overwhelmed cannot serve anyone effectively. By treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend, you can carry the burdens of your position with strength and grace without letting them crush your spirit. Lesson 10. Comparison born from success deepens dissatisfaction. When you are starting out, your comparisons are often local. You might compare yourself to a colleague or a friend. But as you become more successful, your frame of reference expands. You are no longer comparing yourself to the person in the next cubicle. You are now comparing yourself to other industry leaders, to the most successful people in your field, or even in the world. You read about someone who sold their company for more than yours, someone who won a more prestigious award, someone whose influence is greater. This high-level game of comparison is a guaranteed path to misery. There will always be someone who has more, who has achieved more, who seems to be doing better. Even at the very peak of success, the mind can find someone else to feel inferior to. This constant measuring deepens dissatisfaction. It steals the joy from your own accomplishments. Your significant victory feels diminished simply because someone else had a bigger one. It creates a subtle but persistent feeling of not enough, no matter how much you have. You are living in a state of self-inflicted inadequacy. This is a trap of the mind, and you can learn to step out of it. The wisdom here is to shift your focus from comparison with others to connection with your own unique path. Your journey is yours alone. It has its own timeline, its own challenges, and its own triumphs. Comparing it to someone else's is like comparing the sun to the moon. Both are beautiful and serve their own purpose. The practice is to cultivate what is sometimes called sympathetic joy. When you see someone else succeed, instead of feeling envy or inadequacy, make a conscious effort to feel happy for them. Celebrate their victory as a victory for the human spirit. This practice directly counteracts the poison of comparison. It fosters a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. It connects you with others instead of separating you. Remind yourself regularly of your own progress. Look back at how far you've come, not at how far others have gone. Keep a journal of your own small wins and moments of growth. By focusing on your own lane and celebrating the success of all, you can finally be free from the endless, dissatisfying race of comparison and find true peace in your own remarkable journey.